Okay, welcome to the deep dive. So today, we're jumping into something a lot of you have actually asked about creative writing.
Yeah, it comes up a lot.
It does. And we're using Creative Writing for Dummies by Maggie Hammond as our sort of guide here.
Which is, I have to say, pretty comprehensive. It covers a lot of ground.
Totally. From like the first tiny idea maybe buzzing around your head all the way through to, maybe getting published eventually.
Right. The whole journey.
So our mission really is to pull out the key bits for you, the really important nuggets.
You do a bit of a shortcut, maybe.
Exactly. A shortcut to understanding the art, the craft, all that stuff. We want to kind of demystify it a bit.
And maybe point out some surprising things along the way.
Yeah, and give some practical advice you can actually use, like right away, whether you're dreaming of writing a novel or, just curious how stories even get made.
Okay, let's do it. Where do we start?
Well, let's start at the beginning. So many people, aspiring writers, maybe even writers who've been at it a while, they hit these invisible walls, right, before they even type a word.
Oh, definitely. That internal battle.
Yeah. What does the book say about that? Getting past those first, mental roadblocks.
Well, what's really interesting is that's where the book starts, right up front. It tackles that internal struggle.
Okay.
It talks a lot about silencing your inner critic.
Ah, the inner critic. We all know that voice.
We do, but it's not just about, ignoring it later. It's about getting it out of the way right at the start in that initial creative burst.
So how do you do that? Just tell it to shut up.
Huh. Well, yeah, sometimes that works. Just literally tell it to be quiet.
I like it. Direct.
Or meditation can help center you. But one technique I found really useful was giving your inner critic a name.
A name? Like what?
Like, I don't know, Boring Barry, or maybe Negative Neville. Someone, kind of tedious you might meet at a party and just want to get away from.
Okay, I see. So you make it less powerful by making it kind of silly.
Exactly. You externalize it. It's not you. It's just this annoying figure you can sort of dismiss. It helps reframe things, lets you create without that constant judgment.
That makes a lot of sense. Turning down the volume on that negativity.
Right. And it also pushes you to think creatively. Get past that idea what we learn in school that there's only one right answer.
Yeah, that kills creativity fast.
It does. Instead, it encourages generating ideas through play. Just messing around, asking what if.
So conquer the mind game first. Got it. But then there's the practical side. Where do you actually do the writing?
Good question. The book talks about writing in a room of your own, that famous Virginia Woolf idea.
But not everyone has a dedicated office, right?
Exactly. And the book gets that. It clarifies pretty quickly it doesn't have to be a separate room.
So what are the options?
All sorts. You could just be clearing the kitchen table regularly. Or if you're lucky enough to have one, retreating to the garden shed.
The classic writer shed.
Yeah. Or just tucking away in a corner of a room somewhere. Even finding a place nearby, like a cafe or library. Lots of people write well in cafes.
The background noise helps sometimes.
It can. The main thing, the book stresses, is creating a space, even if it's temporary, that's dedicated to your creative writing alone, as much as possible.
To minimize distractions, the internet being the biggest one for me.
Oh, tell me about it. And practically, make sure it's warm. A simple heater can make a difference. You want to be comfortable.
True. Hard to be creative if you're freezing.
And have your tools nearby, like a good dictionary and a thesaurus. Essential stuff.
Okay, so you got your mental game sorted, you found your little writing nook, maybe it's warm, you got your thesaurus, but then you face it. The blank page. Or screen. Still terrifying.
Yep. Something about the blank page or computer screen is terrifying. The book just puts it right out there.
So what's the trick? How do you beat blank page syndrome?
The advice is super direct and kind of freeing, actually. It's just write something. Anything. What you put down is irrelevant. The point is just to break that initial inertia. Get something down.
Okay, like what kind of something?
Well, there's free writing. Just set a timer, 5 or 10 minutes, and write whatever comes into your head. Don't stop, don't edit, don't even worry if it makes sense.
Just keep the pen moving or fingers typing.
Exactly. Or another one is the 3 random words exercise.
How does that work?
You literally just pick 3 random nouns. The book suggests ribbon, fork, and buzzard.
Okay, random enough.
And then you just force yourself to write a short piece connecting them somehow. It jumpstarts your imagination.
I like that. Takes the pressure off having a good idea.
Totally. Or you can take a starting line from a book you like, or even a newspaper headline, and just use that as a prompt to get going.
That's all really good, actionable advice just for starting. So once you have started, what should a new writer focus on? Like, what's the immediate goal? Should they be thinking of getting published already?
Ugh, no. Definitely not, according to the book. That's a key piece of advice right there. Don't worry about publication when you're starting out.
Okay, so what should the focus be?
It should be write for yourself, find the joy in it, enjoy the journey.
That sounds much less stressful.
Right. And also, be specific, even in early exercises. It suggests starting small, too,
Yeah.
with brief pieces, short stories, vignettes, or poems.
Not tackling the epic fantasy trilogy on day one.
Probably not. And don't worry if you start something, like a short story, and suddenly realize, oh, wait, this is getting bigger. Maybe after 20 pages you see that, in fact, the tale's so long and complex that it justifies a novel.
So let it evolve naturally.
Exactly. Focus on the writing itself, the craft, discovering things, not the end point. Build those creative muscles first.
Okay, so we've got past the initial hurdles we're writing for ourselves. Now let's talk about building the actual story. Characters seem pretty central, right? The heart of most stories.
Absolutely fundamental. Whether you're writing fiction, memoir, even biography, character is key.
So how does the book suggest we create compelling characters? More than just a name and hair color.
Well, it starts by helping you define different kinds of characters. Your heroes, sure, but also villains, anti-heroes, minor characters, helpers, hinderers, understanding their function in the story.
So their role.
Yeah, and then it really pushes for creating a deep background, like really deep.
What sort of details?
Everything. Personal details, gender, age, ethnicity, height, weight, social details, class, education, job, religion, even family details, birth order, what their parents did for a living.
Wow, that's thorough. Does all that actually make it onto the page?
Not necessarily, no, but you know it. And that deep knowledge informs how the character behaves, thinks, speaks, and makes them feel grounded, real.
Okay, so it's like an iceberg. Most of it's underwater, but it shapes what we see.
Perfect analogy.
Yeah.
And then, to actually show that personality, the book suggests focusing on 4 things: how characters look, how they think and feel, what they do, and crucially, how they speak.
Speaking. Dialogue.
Yeah. And there's a neat exercise suggested. Observe a total stranger. Really notice their clothes, their mannerisms, maybe what they're reading or listening to. Then try applying that same level of detailed observation to a character you invent.
Paying attention to the small, telling details. I like that.
It makes all the difference.
So characters need to talk. Dialogue. You mentioned it's crucial. But good dialogue feels hard. Really hard to write well. What are the secrets?
You're right. The book says it's actually extremely difficult to pull off effectively.
So what's the key insight?
A big one is remembering that dialogue is a two-way street. Each character in a conversation usually has their own agenda, their own motivation, even if it's hidden.
So it's not just people politely exchanging information.
Exactly. In fact, the book stresses that conflict is essential to good dialogue. You want to avoid those really flat exchanges like, nice day, yes, isn't it?
Yeah, boring.
Right. There needs to be some tension, some underlying disagreement or goal difference, even if it's subtle.
Okay, conflict. What else?
Subtext. This is huge. It's about what's not being said directly.
Like reading between the lines.
Precisely. People often talk about superficial things, maybe the weather, as the book says, but they're really talking about something else entirely. Their fears, their desires, their frustrations simmering underneath. Good dialogue reveals that hidden layer.
So the meaning is often under the surface.
Often, yes. That's where the real meat is. And technically, it's vital to distinguish voices. Make characters sound different.
Ow.
Through their vocabulary, the rhythm of their speech, maybe even little verbal mannerisms or tics. But there's a warning, too.
Oh.
Don't overdo accents. Don't lay them on so thickly that reading them is almost impossible. It becomes annoying for the reader.
Good point. Keep it readable. So characters, dialogue, what about the world they live in, the setting? How do we make that feel real?
Again, the core advice is be specific. Don't just say animal.
Say horse or cow or pig.
Exactly. The book gives this great example. The hotel room was dowdy with a faded orange candlewick bedspread and a tattered sentimental print of the Virgin and Child on the wall by the window.
Okay, yeah, I can picture that room instantly. Much better than just the room was old.
Right. Those few precise details do all the work. And it urges writers to utilize the senses in turn. Think about sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. Immerse the reader.
Don't just describe what things look like.
No, bring in everything. And then there's that classic advice attributed often to Chekhov.
Your gun on the wall.
That's the one. If there's a gun hanging on the wall in Act 1, it must be fired by the end of Act 3. Basically, make your details count. Every element should serve a purpose, either advancing plot or revealing character or theme. Don't just throw stuff in randomly.
Economy of detail.
Yes. And related to making descriptions vivid, the book mentions metaphors and similes, comparing things to create an image.
Powerful tools.
Very powerful. But another warning. They are best used sparingly.
Why is that?
Overdo it, and your writing can feel pretentious, cluttered, and contrived. It pulls the reader out instead of drawing them in. Use them for impact, not just decoration.
Makes sense. So, okay, we've got characters that are talking in this specific sensory world. Now, how do we actually weave this into a story?
Yeah.
Something with momentum, plotting. That often feels like the hardest part.
It's definitely up there as one of the most challenging aspects for many writers.
What guidance does the book offer? Is there a magic formula?
No magic formula, sadly. But it does suggest useful structures, like following the 3-act structure, beginning, middle, end, setup, confrontation, resolution. It's classic for a reason.
Provides a basic roadmap.
It does, and interestingly, it even suggests maybe retelling classic archetypal plots in a new way.
Like what?
Things like Rags to Riches, the Cinderella story, or a quest, voyage and return, even tragedy, putting a modern spin on those fundamental story shapes.
You don't have to reinvent the wheel every time.
Not at all. Build on what works. Now, the book also talks about different types of plotters.
Oh, yeah.
There are the conscious plotters who plan out everything in detail. Outlines, spreadsheets, the works.
The architects.
Right? And then there are the unconscious plotters, sometimes called pantsers, writing by the seat of their pants. They discover the story as they go along.
The explorers.
Exactly. And the book suggests, realistically, that most writers use a mixture of both approaches. Maybe a loose outline, but allowing for discovery.
They're making that balance.
Yeah. And regardless of your method, key elements for a strong plot include a clear goal for your main character, plenty of conflict getting in their way, a real sense of connection between events, cause, and effect, and a satisfying climax.
That makes sense. Goal, conflict, connection, climax.
And techniques to make the plot work better. Things like foreshadowing, hinting at things to come.
Like Chekhov's gun again, almost.
Sort of. The book uses Tolstoy's Anna Karenina as an example. A man dies under a train early on, which subtly foreshadows Anna's own fate much later. It creates resonance.
Clever. Adds depth.
And also springing surprises. Twists. People love twists. But crucially, the twist has to feel believable when it happens. It needs to be earned, set up subtly, not just dropped out of nowhere.
Right. Otherwise, the reader feels cheated.
Exactly. Believability is key, even in surprises.
Okay, plotting feels a bit less mysterious now. So let's say you've wrestled with all of that. You've got characters, dialogue, world, plot. You have a draft. Is the work done then?
Not even close. Now comes the refining, the polishing.
The editing stage.
Yes. And the book makes a really, really crucial distinction here. Separating drafting and editing.
Don't try to do both at once.
Please don't. It's paralyzing. The book quotes Hemingway, or at least alludes to him, saying something like, the first draft of anything is shoo.
Uh-huh.
Well, true, often. The first draft is just about getting the story down, pouring it out, permission to be messy.
Okay, so draft first, then edit. What does that editing process look like, according to the book?
It's detailed work. First, the basics. Checking spelling mistakes and punctuation, fixing common errors, it's confusion or the stuff that trips people up.
The technical polish.
Right. But then it gets into the deeper stuff. Making verbs stronger. Instead of he went slowly, maybe he ambled or he strolled or he trudged. Much more evocative.
Using more precise verbs.
Exactly. And related to that, taking out adverbs and adjectives where possible, especially adverbs modifying verbs like walked slowly. Strong verbs often don't need them. It makes the prose punchier.
Leaner writing.
Yes. But editing isn't just about cutting. It can also involve fleshing out sections that need more detail, more sensory information, adding where necessary.
So expanding parts, too.
Yeah. But then the flip side is equally important. Paring down. cutting ruthlessly, getting rid of unnecessary long description, excessive interior monologues, or complex passages of exposition that slow the pace and bore the reader.
Finding that perfect balance between showing enough and not too much.
It's a real dance.
Yeah.
Add here, cut there, sculpting the story.
That drafting versus editing distinction feels like it could save a lot of writers from tearing their hair out. Okay, last big step. You've drafted, you've edited, you've polished. You actually want someone else to read this thing. How do you find an audience?
The final frontier. And yeah, the book is pretty straightforward about this. First, it suggests finding a trusted reader.
Someone to give feedback before you send it out into the world.
Exactly, because it's so hard to see your own work objectively. You're too close to it. You need honest, constructive feedback from someone you trust.
Makes sense. And then the big wide world of publishing.
Yeah, and here the book pulls no punches. It talks about finding an audience and states pretty bluntly, your chance of being accepted by a reputable publisher is small.
Oof. Reality check.
A necessary one, I think. It explains the role of agents, who are often the gatekeepers to major publishing houses. They pitch your book for you.
So you usually need an agent first.
For the big publishers, often yes. The book also outlines the different departments in a publishing house: editorial, sales, marketing, rights, so you understand the whole machine a bit better.
Sounds complex.
It is. And if you are going that traditional route, the book offers tips like practice your pitch and keep it short. You need to sell your story concisely. And network like mad at literary festivals and events.
Make connections.
Yeah. But it also mentions the alternative, self-publishing, which is a huge and totally valid path these days, too. More control, but also more work falls on you.
Right, you become the publisher. So it sounds challenging, whichever route you take.
It absolutely is, which leads to maybe the most powerful story in the book, actually, about perseverance.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about that. It feels like we need an inspiring note after the small chance of success bit.
Definitely. The book mentions John Kennedy Toole. Heard of him?
The name sounds familiar. A Confederacy of Dunces.
That's the one. He wrote this incredible, funny, unique novel back in the 1960s, sent it out everywhere, rejection after rejection. He got incredibly discouraged, depressed, and tragically, he took his own life in 1969.
Oh, wow.
That's heartbreaking. It really is. But here's the thing. His mother refused to give up on the book for years. She kept pushing the manuscript on editors, academics, anyone who might listen.
She believed in it.
Fiercely.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, 11 years after his death, she found someone who recognized its genius.
Right.
It got published.
And
then it won the Pulitzer Prize for fiction in 1981.
no way, after all that.
Yep. It's just this incredibly powerful, if bittersweet story that really hammers home the book's final advice in that section. Don't give up.
Wow. That's quite a story. Perseverance indeed.
Oh,
So this whole deep dive, it really shows creative writing isn't just one thing, is it? It's this mix of like technical skill, getting inside your own head, understanding story structure,
yeah,
but also just pure grit, persistence.
absolutely. It's a multifaceted journey, like you said. Skill, personal engagement, persistence, all woven together. And there's one more thread, actually, that runs through the whole book, maybe underpinning everything else.
What's that?
Reading. Just reading. A lot.
Ah, yes. The classic advice.
It's classic for a reason. The book says, reading a lot and thinking about how writing works is vital if you want to write. Reading is the best teacher of how to write.
So not just reading for pleasure, but reading like a writer.
Exactly. Reading widely, reading different genres, different styles, and really think about what you're reading and the effect the words have on you. Analyze it. Take it apart. Learn from it.
Become a student of the craft by seeing how others do it.
Couldn't have put it better myself. Every book is a potential lesson.
So if there's one final thought, one sort of takeaway from this whole exploration of creative writing, what would it be for you? What should someone listening carry away?
That's a good question. I think it might be something the book touches on towards the end. Realizing the importance of not knowing.
The importance of not knowing.
Uh-huh.
That sounds counterintuitive.
It does a bit. But think about it. Admitting you don't have a clue where you're going or what you're doing with your writing can be difficult. The book acknowledges that. We want answers. We want certainty.
Right. We want the plan.
But not knowing leaves you open to many possibilities. It allows you to explore, try out different ideas, and enjoy a journey of discovery. If you already know everything, where's the fun? Where's the surprise?
You're just executing a plan, not discovering a story.
Precisely. That uncertainty, that not knowing, can actually be the most fertile ground for creativity. It turns that scary blank page into an invitation, not a threat.
Okay, now that's where it gets really interesting, doesn't it? Embracing the not knowing.
Yeah.
Because it makes you wonder, what if the truly great stories, the ones that surprise even the writer, aren't the ones we map out perfectly from A to Z?
What if they're the ones we allow to kind of emerge from that place of curiosity and maybe a little bit of comfortable confusion?
Yeah. So the question for you listening becomes, what does that mean for your writing? Or any creative project, really?
What if next time you didn't try to have all the answers up front?
What if you consciously embraced that not knowing? Trusted the process, the journey of discovery itself, to actually reveal the story waiting to be told? Food for thought.